Between the two recipes that I'm sharing today, you'll pick up all the skills that you need to make any type of potato salad. I'll cover everything from texture to flavour, dressing to consistency, and how to cook your potatoes just right. By the end of this video, you'll be equipped with the knowledge to make great potato salad. For this first recipe, I'm using 1 kilo of new potatoes. I won't dive into the specific varieties I'm using here since it varies depending on where you're from. But like with most new potatoes, their starchy texture and delicate skin make them a great choice for potato salad. A lot of recipes recommend using all the same size potatoes for even cooking. Whilst this is great advice, it's not always possible. It's not exactly practical to buy 5 kilos of potatoes just to sort through them and end up with 1 kilo of the same size. So I've got a mix of sizes here, which is a good reflection of what most people can actually get. But the question is, luckily, this is actually very simple. I just have to pay attention to a few little details. The first is using a large saucepan, and the second is covering the potatoes with cold water. The idea behind using a large saucepan is to give the potatoes space, so they're not crammed up on top of each other. They have a little bit of space to move around. And starting with cold water lets the potatoes and water heat up together, evenly and gradually. When you start with boiling water, the outer layer cooks too fast, leaving the inside raw for much longer. These two small details make a big difference when it comes to cooking potatoes evenly, no matter the type. Then I'm adding a little salt and over to my stovetop. I'm putting this pan onto a high heat and placing a lid on. Once it's up to a boil, I'm turning it down to a simmer, so the water is just bubbling. And I'm going to leave that simmering for 3 to 4 minutes. After a few minutes of simmering, the potatoes still feel very raw, but at this stage, I'm turning the heat off and placing the lid back on. And I'm going to leave them to sit in this hot water for 15 to 20 more minutes. This very gentle, passive cooking technique is the third detail that helps to get unevenly sized potatoes cooked evenly. All I have to do is leave them in the hot water, but crucially using a lid to maintain the temperature in the pan as much as possible. This is a very slept on technique and it works very well. Okay, so whilst I'm waiting for them to cook, I can get on with the rest of the prep. And I'm going to start with some fennel. This is going to bring a fresh, vibrant flavour and a much needed crunch to this potato salad. The same way some raw onion would, just without the raw onion breath. For this reason, this is one of my go-to potato salad recipes for things like networking events, because people get self-conscious about having onion breath, particularly when they're meeting for the first time. I'm only going to need half of this average size bulb for this recipe, and I'm slicing it thinly, starting from the top, working my way to the base. If you're not a fan of fennel, then some thinly sliced carrot, celery, or even some radish are great alternatives to the standard raw onion. The only downside with fennel is it likes to turn brown once it's sliced. So to stop this, I'm adding the juice of half a lemon, but anything acidic will work here. After a good mix, I can put that to one side and move on to the herbs. Here I've got a small handful of parsley and the same amount of dill. With the parsley, I'm just picking the leaves from the large main stalks. These can be a bit woody and it's not something that I want in my potato salad. I want to show you a trick that I use to cut herbs like parsley. So I bunch all of the leaves together, then I begin to roll them like this, using my fingers pushing into the chopping board slightly, until I have a kind of parsley cigar like this. Then I can just take fine slices from this compact bunch of parsley. The idea when chopping most herbs is to chop them as little as possible. So when you want them cut reasonably fine, it's good to use techniques like this. Then, once I'm all the way through, I like to give the whole pile a 90-degree spin, and I just chop through that a few more times. This cutting technique works for small amounts like this, all the way up to a few handfuls of leaves. It's something I use all the time. Anyway, onto the dill. And this herb is a lot more delicate, so I treat it a little differently. Same first step, I just pick the leaves from the woody main stalks. Don't worry, none of these stalks will get wasted. I'll show you what I do with them in a minute. Then with the leaves, or I suppose they're actually fronds, I like to tear them down with my fingers. You can also chop them with a knife, but I find this tends to break them down too much, and they end up coating absolutely everything in the potato salad. By tearing them like this, I get little pockets of dill here and there, rather than a homogeneous dill flavour across the whole salad. Okay, so that's the herbs I'm going to use today. Lastly, I'm going to prep some spring onions. Here I've got 3 large-ish spring onions. I'm doing the usual, peeling off any dry looking parts and taking the very ends off the tops, which always tend to be a bit dry if they've been cut. Then I'm slicing the top green part as fine as I can. This is going to bring a fresh, mild onion flavour that works so well in potato salad, just without the risk of bringing any of that raw onion breath that I'm trying to avoid for this recipe. Just a little like this goes a long way. So, as promised, let's use up some of this waste. I'm saving this lemon half for something else, but here I've got the parsley and dill stalks, the trim and dry outer layer of the fennel, and any of the trim from the spring onions. I'm going to place all of that in with my potatoes, which are still sitting in the hot water on the stovetop. They've been in the water now for around 10 minutes, so I guess they've got anywhere between 5 and 10 more minutes until they're where I want them to be. 8 minutes later, my potatoes are ready. Looking at one of the medium-sized ones, my fork goes in easily. The texture feels firm but cooked. The skin isn't split anywhere. This feels and looks perfectly cooked. But what about one of the larger ones? My fork goes in easily. There's a tiny amount more resistance in the centre, but this feels great. In terms of doneness, I'd say the 2 sizes are about 5% apart. If I'd simmered them the whole way, the medium ones would have ended up with split skins and a mushy texture by the time the larger ones were cooked through. So this simple technique has worked well. After draining them off, I can take a closer look. They all look great. Absolutely no split skins, none of them look soggy or overcooked. They feel firm, but with a tiny amount more give when I squeeze them. This is exactly where I want to be. From here, I can just leave them to cool naturally like this, until you can handle them with your bare hands. 5 or 10 minutes should be enough. If you don't like potato skins in your potato salad, then at this point you can just run a small knife lightly over the surface, and the skin will easily come away like this. This isn't something I'm going to do for this potato salad. I like the flavour the skin brings, particularly with new potatoes like these. Then it's just a matter of cutting them up. I tend to go on the larger side. This helps the potato slices to stay whole and not break apart too much. But this is personal preference. Then into a bowl with the shaved fennel, a little salt, some cracked black pepper, a dash of extra virgin olive oil. I'm starting somewhere between 50 and 100 mils. Then a good mix to get every piece of potato coated with the seasonings and the olive oil. So from here, it really is your choice on what you want to do. My potatoes are still a little bit warm, and I'm going to add my herbs and the spring onions now and mix them in, and I'm going to eat this as a warm potato salad. There's only one downside to this. If you want to save this potato salad for later or tomorrow or in a couple of days, adding the green things now, they'll just lose a lot of their freshness and their colour. So, if you want to eat this now as a warm potato salad like me, add everything, give it a mix, serve, very nice. If you want to save this for another time, then let these cool completely and mix in your herbs. I would mix them in an hour before you want to use it so they can get some of their flavour going, but then you still keep the freshness of the onions and the herbs. That's kind of the two ways this can be done from here, but this looks fantastic. The fennel is softened. The potatoes have sucked up all that olive oil and the lemon juice. This is a great basis for a potato salad. So it's as easy as adding the herbs and the spring onion, mixing them in, and then tasting and seeing what you need to get in balance. You might need more olive oil because the potatoes have absorbed it all, more acidity from the lemon juice, or just some more salt and pepper to bring everything to life. Okay, so it looks amazing. Very fresh, very vibrant. The fennel is really softened. It's still raw, like shaved crunchy fennel, but it's just lost that really raw edge. The herbs are fantastic. You can taste the lemon. The olive oil is in there. You can taste it, but it doesn't feel greasy. It's really fresh, really vibrant. This could go with just about anything. Be a great addition at a barbecue with some fish. That's a side plate in the middle of the table. It's such a good alternative to just the standard potatoes and mayonnaise. If you don't like the idea of fennel, you can just take it out. This is fantastic. On to the next. This recipe is a traditional potato salad from southern Germany. It's very unique and very delicious. It uses some unusual techniques to make a dressing that's packed full of flavour and clings to the potatoes perfectly. So here I've got 1 kilo of a waxy variety of potato. I want to use a large fully grown variety so you can see how I go about preparing them for a potato salad. It's really common to get hung up with not knowing what type you have. Floury, waxy, or all-purpose. And because there's literally thousands of varieties out there, I can't go through them all. So if it's not clear when you're shopping, simply Googling it is the quickest solution. So, same as before. Into a large saucepan, Cover them with cold water, a little salt, lid on, and over to the stovetop. Onto a high heat. I'm bringing that pan up to a boil, and once it's boiling, I'm turning it down to a very gentle simmer. The gentler, the better. This is going to help the potatoes to cook all the way through to the centre without breaking apart. And at a guess, this is going to take anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes. So whilst that's happening, I can get on with the rest of the prep, which is really simple. First, I need to finely dice one brown onion. Nothing too fancy, just a fine dice. If you can't get small brown onions like this, then you can use half of a larger white onion. Then that's going into a saucepan along with 250ml or roughly half a cup of beef stock, 60ml or 4 tablespoons of white wine vinegar, and a couple of teaspoons of Dijon mustard. Then that's going over to my stovetop, onto a high heat on my small burner, and I'm going to bring that up to a boil. Then simmer it for around a minute. This is just going to soften the onion and take the harsh acidic edge off of the vinegar. Once it's had that minute, I can turn the heat off and just place a lid on to help keep it hot. Whilst I'm here, I can check on my potatoes. Not much has changed. My water is just simmering, which is exactly where I want it to be. And that's all of the prep I need to do for this potato salad. From here, I just need to wait until my potatoes are cooked. "15 minutes later, my potatoes are ready. When I pierce them with a knife, there's a tiny amount of resistance in the middle, but not much. This is where I want to be. I'm draining the hot water, keeping the potatoes in the hot pan. I'm putting the lid back on to let them finish cooking in the residual heat." So just to talk a little bit more about this texture of the potatoes. Mine is sitting here hot in this pan with absolutely no water at all, and they're just going to finish cooking in the centre. It's hard to explain the texture in the centre without feeling it, but you can feel as the knife goes in, the knife or fork, as it goes in, it's softer, then there's just a little more resistance in the middle. Like with the new potatoes in the first recipe, it's going to help the inconsistent sizes of potatoes to gradually cook and kind of even out. The beauty of this final 10% of cooking in the pan is there's absolutely no water, so they can't overcook. They're just going to gently finish, basically. It's a really good method if you have the time. If you don't have the time, you've just got to continue simmering them on the stove in the water until they're done. But now I'm just going to leave them to gently cool, and I'll do the next step once I can handle the potatoes with my bare hands. Because these are a larger, fully grown variety of potato, I don't want the skins for this potato salad. So I'm going to scrape the skin away, exactly like I briefly demonstrated in the first recipe. It's really easy. Just run a knife along the surface and the skin comes away with ease. Once they're peeled, I can cut them into large but bite-sized pieces. So to recap, because of cooking the potatoes whole with their skins, super gentle simmering on the stovetop, and letting the potatoes finish cooking in the residual dry heat of the pan, I've got evenly cooked, but crucially, not waterlogged pieces of potato, which are now the perfect vehicle to get mixed with and absorb a dressing. So into a bowl, and I'm completely covering them with the dressing. What's really important at this stage is the potatoes are still warm and the dressing is hot. It may look a bit sloppy at this stage, but believe in the process and this will change over the next few simple steps. After a thorough but gentle mix, I'm covering them and I'm going to leave them to sit for 15 or so minutes to let the flavours mingle. 15 minutes later, I'm giving them another stir. You can see how the appearance is changing. The potatoes are absorbing the dressing, and some of the starch from the potatoes is thickening what's left of the dressing. I'm going to leave them to rest for another 15 minutes or so. Another 15 minutes later, and you can now see the potatoes have absorbed the majority of the dressing, and what's left of that dressing has fully thickened and is coating the potatoes. It's time for me to finish this with a little salt, some cracked black pepper, and keeping with tradition, a little oil. This doesn't need to be much, a few tablespoons at the most. Then the last gentle mix, and all I'm looking to do here is get the oil emulsified into the dressing. And this happens very easily, I don't need to be vigorous. And this simply gets served with some chopped chives on top for a touch of freshness. I know a lot of you out there don't like a mushy potato salad or an overcooked potato salad. This isn't that. This has the appearance of that in a way, because some of the pieces of potato have broken down, but that's what makes the dressing, the sauce. That's what kind of thickens it up and makes it all emulsified. So that, I think, is the key to this. This is like classic German comfort food. The potato still has some bite, a little firmness. The sauce is incredible. It's meaty, it's umami, and it gets lifted by the mustard, the oil, the acidity from the vinegar. It's really balanced, it's really nice. It's not sweet, which is not something I look for from a potato salad. And the best thing about this, remove the chives, so don't put the chives on. This can stay in your fridge and it will just get better with time. So tomorrow will be even better. The next day, I think it'll be a touch better, and that's probably about the limit. But you've got a potato salad that will last for a few days in your fridge. It's fantastic. It's not full of nasties, it's not full of oil. There's just a little bit of oil in it. So it's a really good option. This is very nice. Out of the two today, this is the one I would make. If you enjoyed this video today, then I know you enjoyed this one too. So go check it out next.